Hello and welcome to Friday with Fiona and this week's class to go, which is using the amazing Stampin' Up cracker and treat box. So I'm just going to, that's it, get rid of my face. So I've got quite a lot to show you today. So what I did a while ago was, and these papers are now retired, made these beautiful crackers using the die, and that is just literally I think it's about 5 inches by 6 inches, something like that. I just ran it through 5 times, scored it a bit more, fold it, glued it. There's nothing in those ones at the moment. I have got some sweeties here to show you how much you'll get in, but those papers have retired. So what I wanted to show you is, first I'm going to make the box, and then I've been making some using designer series paper. So I will just show you how they go together and what you can get in, and then I've already die cut some. I can't remember if it was in the actual catalogue. I think it might have been in the annual catalogue. So let's find the dies. Cracker. So they're in the annual catalogue, page 45. I think it's here. It says, customize the size of the cracker box by die cutting 2 boxes, trimming one in half and adhering it to the full box. And there's other things you can do as well. So you can do 2 lots and trim them and you get bigger ones. So I'm going to do that because we have, for the first time in 3 years, got a family coming to us on Boxing Day, which is so exciting. And we normally have crackers, but you know, the gifts all get left behind and everything. So this time I'm going to be using them for their Christmas presents. It's just vouchers, so you know, it's not a problem, but just to make it a bit special. Okay, so I've got a new host code here. Let me just pop that up. So that is the host code if you want to get the Maker Takes. So with this week's class to go, you will get everything you need to make the box. So that's the card, the designer series paper, and I am doing like decorating the inside and the lid. So you'll get those, and then you will get enough cardstock to make 5 of the regular size crackers and enough to make 1 of the larger crackers that we're going to make. So it's quite a kind of a all packed in. There's rather a lot. But anyway, if you spend £35, you by next Tuesday at midnight, that's the 13th. You will get all of that, and also then if you spend over £50, I will throw in a pack of current gems. I can't remember which ones I've got, but I think it's the heart pearls. They're just gorgeous, and that's if you spend over £50. Okay, let me take that away so you can see, and I'm just going to move some bits to the side. So I have already die cut to save a bit of time, and I've cut the base. What I wanted to show you is I've already scored, but what I wanted to show you is using to do the lid. And I know some people use post-it notes as a shim. I've got this little bit of not adhesive sheet, what is it, acetate, and then it's kind of, so a piece of acetate with a bit of cardstock folded over. So it's really a fraction, probably about 1/8 or something, but it just means if I put it at the side there and then I pop my card right up against it, there's a bit of a gap there, which means it's just a fraction bigger than the box to make it easy to get it on. So I tried to actually use my metric board. Well, I did use my metric board, but it doesn't work for the lid because you have to do it the halves, the 7.5. Like I had to start at 7 to go to 10.5 centimeters because it's 3.5 centimeters. It doesn't have halves until, like, you know, halfway across the board. So I'm just using my imperial board for the lid, and that is 1 line over 1 1/4. So I don't know what that would be. 1, 2, 3/16, something like that. I'm not sure. Because I tend to work in metric. Right, okay, so this is just the last one, and then I get this off. So just wanted to show you how I do that with the shim. Okay, so I can get rid of my board. Gosh, it's been so cold. I don't know the last time I saw my grass with frost on it. And then this morning, my husband, I brought the breakfast up, and he's got up and he said, I don't know if it's my eyes, bless him, but I think it's snowing. And when I looked, it was really, really fine, and it didn't settle at all, but it just wasn't forecast. So right, okay, I'm just going to get my snips, and then let's do the base first, because I've already got that here. So that's the cracker we're going to be doing in a minute, and these are for the lid, and that's for the base. Okay, so I'm just going to cut up the score lines. And then I'm going to trim from corner to corner. I was just going to say I use my bigger ones, but it's okay. Okay. What I'll do is I'll do all the... I absolutely love this. And I showed it to my husband, and he's really not that interested in my crafting. But sometimes when I do something, you know, he thought these were amazing. So he's very happy for me to make them for the family. Okay, I'll just trim this one, and I think I've missed one actually. So this is, the base is Evening Evergreen, and the lid is Real Red, and the designer series paper that I'm using is Painted Christmas, which was around last year and came back this year, and is now retired, but last time I checked it was still available. And the designer series paper prices are just crazy at the moment. So I'm just going to use my bone folder and get a really good crease. I need to trim a bit off there, I think. Yeah, I'm just gone inside the score line. Just get rid of that. That's the problem when you use your thick, I don't know what you call this, embossing stylus, doesn't say. When you use the thick end, you end up with a bit too much. Just need to trim that as well. So the box, I just measured on my grid paper, putting the crackers together, and what I tend to do now is I always use retired stuff, like retired cardstock or foils or whatever, and do like a prototype, and then I go with the real thing. So I've got my Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm just gonna do that. So the World Cup's back on this afternoon. Yay! 2 matches today, 2 matches tomorrow. So that gives me time in my craft room. You saw my post the other day. And then the Premiership will be back after Christmas. Okay, so I'm just before I stick these, no, actually I will stick these down now because I won't be able to turn them over. That's it. I'm just going to, so as I said, it's about 3.5 centimeters deep, which is as deep as it needs to be for these crackers. If you wanted to do a box for the bigger ones, you'd have to make the box, you know, a bit deeper just to hold them. I did do that, but it didn't actually look so good. So, okay, bit of Seal Plus hanging over there. Come on, go back. There we go. Right, and yeah, I just need to trim. There's another little bit there, just needs to be trimmed off. Right, okay. And then I've cut a piece of now, because one of these, this is soft sea foam and mistletoe, holly, not mistletoe. So I decided that because it's quite a dark box, I'm going to go with the light on the inside. So I'm just going to pop some Seal Plus and just, that's not sticking, let's get that in there, okay. Yeah, I'm going to have the soft sea foam side up because it matches some of the crackers. Okay, so it's just like to give it a little, and then I've got 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I've used the garden green and the real red ribbon, which is actually carrying over, so you can still get that. Okay, so that's my base, and then here I've got my lid. What I'm going to do with this before I cut it and glue it, I'm going to, so real red, pear pizzazz, because that is in the designer series paper, and this is the painted Christmas paper. I love this one, it's one of my favorites, my absolute favorite. I've used it all, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm just going to mat and layer just to make the lid a bit thicker. Whoops, on the top. So I'm using Seal Plus just because it's easy for me and it is quite strong. Normally with a box I would use tear and tape or Tombow, but just for speed I'm using the Seal Plus. So you get to see a little bit of the pear pizzazz. Beautiful. And then we'll pop that on the lid before I cut and fold it. Thought a bit had gone over there. Right. So again, we should have a bit of real red. Actually, quite a lot of real red by the looks of it. Yes. And I didn't push it down, so I can just manoeuvre it quickly. A little bit too far over. Okay, right, so I'm going to, I always forget to do this before I cut with my bum folder. I'll do it this time. Okay, and then we'll cut. Sun's come out now. I hope you're all keeping warm. Okay, last one. Right, let's get rid of those. And get my it was a bit difficult when I've trimmed it off because there's not an awful lot of area to put the, in fact I think I will use Tombow, and I'll just get my pins out, my pegs out ready. I've got a little bowl of sweeties next to me to put inside the crackers, and they are talking to me. It's not good. Come on. So I'm going to get in a mess of this. My peg in there. Okay. 1. Need more hands. 2. Okay, leave that. So there you go. That's the lid with the decoration on it. And I'll probably put some ribbon or something down that one. I did some circles and some snowflakes, but that was kind of plain. So I think maybe just a ribbon might be enough. Right, I'm going to put that to one side. And now I'm going to show you, this is the size of cracker that you get just by using the size of the die. So I'm going to use Seal Plus, and I'm going to just right up to the top, because you're doing like okay. Now, unfortunately, because of the number of folds, you could cut one off and it would be even, but you can't actually lay it down and fold it over as you can with, you know, some fancy folds and things. You just have to kind of hold it and maneuver it into the right place and line it up with your score lines. There we go. And then this frill also lines up as well. Okay, there we go. And just this last end. So, I mean, it didn't take any time at all to cut out. Obviously, if you're doing, you know, a lot, it would be quite hard work. Right, so that's the size. Now, I've got some celebrations, and I thought I would be able to get a couple in, but actually I think I'm only going to get one in. So I need to find, I think if you have Ferrero Rochers, you might be able to get 2 in. Now, I did cut my ribbon already. Here we go. And that is that's about 34, 35 trimmed at the end centimeters. Okay, so just going to pop it under here and tie it in a nice bow. I do love these. I think something like a family celebration, or, you know, Christmas, but you could use any papers, or you could use cardstock and then just decorate it. And the great thing is it comes with all of these labels and tags. It really is great. I've got 2 sets in here, but you get these little tags, you get these hearts, stars, and the labels. So really, really good. Okay, that's my ribbon. It's a little bit on the big side, so I'm going to just pull it smaller and then trim it down. So maybe probably only need about 30 centimeters. So every time I pull it, it loosens for some reason. Right, that'll do. Okay, that's one end. Yeah, I think if my granddaughters opened it and they just got one sweet, they'd be a bit disappointed. But I'm going to be making bigger ones, and they will have something much more exciting in there. So I'm going to show you that in a minute. Okay. Just make it a bit smaller again. Right, okay, so now I'll get my box, and I've got my 5. That ribbon just needs to Be a bit smaller, I think. Get my ribbon scissors, they're not cutting very well, which is why I have ribbon scissors. Much better. Okay, so there we go. Now hopefully my lid has dried. Just take my pegs off. And then it just fits over, because I did that little shim when I was scoring. Right, okay, so what I should have done was actually trimmed this bit smaller, because you can't actually see the green. But now it's all together, it'll be a bit difficult. So I think it was 1.5 inches, or it's 3.5 centimeters. So maybe I should have gone down to 3 for the lid. Yeah. Okay. So that's my box of regular sized crackers. Hope you like those. I love it. Let's not mix my scissors up. These are my ribbon scissors. Okay, so what I've got now, I've cut 4 of the normal sized, and what it said in the catalogue was if you cut one in half, but actually what I did was, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's right then, because I did it's 9. So I need to cut one in half, and I also want to cut the ends off, because I'm going to join it up to make like a giant cracker. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I want 9. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Which is what it said in the catalogue. Cut it in half. Just going to make sure it's all lined up. Okay. So 1 is my top and 1 is my bottom. Right, now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut on the score line, because I want to make a giant cracker to get the girls' presents in. So I'm just literally cutting the tops off. So that's my I've got some left over, that's okay. So I need to cut my tops off here, off these 2. Oh, do you know what I've realised? I'm gonna, oh no, it should work still. I was thinking I'm gonna have to overlap, but it should still work. Right, so those will just go. And then I'm gonna join each one up. So let me get my trimmer out of the way. And I'm going to use Seal Plus again for this. Let's get my silicone mat. How are we doing for time? Okay, and I'm just going to add that. Now I know I haven't, yeah, actually maybe I should do that first. I need to just fold them. Now because this is foil card, I'm not going to use my bone folder. If I was using design series paper or regular cardstock, I would, but no, I didn't fold those. So 1, okay, right, so I'm going to put that one down there. I'm just going to line it up exactly so the scalloped ends and the score lines, and that's 1/2. Okay, and I'm going to do the same, just going to fold it first. Have you all got your Christmas trees up? We have one in our bay window in the lounge. It's a little one with just lights on, and the big one is quite hard work, but I'm going to do it this year. I didn't last year, but I am going to do it this year because we got family coming, yay. Right, so I need to do the same thing with this one. And my eldest granddaughter, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I remember like holding her in my arms when she was a baby. And she's going to be 18 in 2 months' time. It's just like, where has that gone? It really is quite terrifying. Makes me feel old. There we go. Right, I might just need to trim that because that's not level. Let's get my mini trimmer. I obviously went one side of the score line on one and the other on the other, so just line that up. Should be okay. Right, so we have 2 parts. Now, you can just do them, and in fact, I wanted to try something. I've got a piece of silver here. Is it long enough? Yeah, I think it is. So, what I'll do is I'll show you how to do it first. No, I can't because I need to do it. So what you can do is just glue them together like we did the other one. The other thing you need to do is you need to do your mountain and valley folds, which on the designer series paper was a lot easier because they're very thin. But this is foiled cardstock, so it would be a little trickier. So I'm just folding to get the creases, but I'm not using my bone folds. I'm just being, because it is foil card. And then, oh, see, that one has split. I'm just going to be gentle with it, and the double one doesn't want to fold at all. So maybe we'll sort that out when we put them together. Okay, and then just do the same on this one. I'm literally putting my finger where the score line is. And then this, what I might do, show you a little trick. So when I'm using designer series paper or foil card, I take my trimmer, but I don't use the score line. Don't use the scorer from the trimmer. So I'm just going to line that up. And then what I'm going to do, let's put them forward a bit. I take my bone folder and just go along. It's much gentler than the scorer in the actual trimmer, so hopefully that will fold a bit easier now. Yes, much easier, but I didn't score it too hard. That's split as well, but that's okay. Right, so what I did last time was I just rolled them up and joined them together. You could actually make a little gift box using that, which is why I think it's called cracker and treat box. So you don't actually have to make a cracker, you could just make a box. Glue them together and then you kind of manipulate them to join. But I found once it was joined, I mean, if you're going to put designer series paper over it and glue it, that would work. But I was wondering whether if you had like almost like a, oh god, what do we call them? When you wrap them round, a belly band. But if you had a belly band that almost went on the inside, so I'm gonna cut that. Now, if I do it to, so how much would they need? So if we had about 1/2 an inch, yeah, so maybe 1 inch would be okay. Let's try that. And I'm going to need to score it where they are scored. So that's going to be tricky. How often are they scored? Right, every 2 centimetres, which is just under 3/4. Right, so every 2 centimetres I'm going to score that. With my bone folder, because I want it to, I haven't done this before, so I'm just trying it. It might not work, but nothing ventured, nothing gained. So right, that's 2 centimetres. I'm going to go the other way now. 4 centimetres. 6 centimetres. 8 centimetres. 'Kay, it's not perfect, but it needs to have a bit of give. So I've got to do 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Okay. And then trim a bit off. Right, let's keep going. So I started this and now I'm doing it every 2 centimetres. I don't think that's worked actually. I'm going to have to just do it again because that one was 2. What I'm thinking is that I would now, as I say, it might not work because I've not tried this before, but glue half onto there and the other half onto there. So we'll give it a try, shall we? See what happens. So I'm just doing it at the edge. Fingers stuck now. Right. Let's give it a try. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. So at least it's bending. Ah, yes. Excellent. Okay, so now I'm going to pop Seal Plus. And again, you need to hold it, and it being bigger, it makes it a little trickier. Just line it up with the score lines. Okay, I'm going to start at the top and line my scallops up. Go, and then I should make it easier to. You'll be able to get a lot more sweeties in this one. Line that up there. Now, because I did the folding, you see that you get the actual cracker effect. So I'm just going to give that a minute to. Yeah, please. Right, okay, you should be able to get loads more sweets in. So what I'm going to do, what ribbon should I use with this one? I'll use some of the gold. I'm just going to tie it at one end so that then I can put the sweeties in. That's too much. This ribbon's in the annual catalogue, so it's not being retired. There we go. Oh, looking good. Well, now I can get loads of sweeties in there. I've only got 3 left. Well, actually, because that other one's in there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you could get quite a few more. Now it is coming out, but I could tie that. Let's try tying that tighter and see if it will stop. So the other thing you could do is just put like a circle or something inside. Okay, I've tied that tighter. Yeah, they can't come out now. Okay, great. So another bit of ribbon. Now, obviously, you want to hide the join. So I've got some designer series paper somewhere. I'm just going to wrap it round. When I've got this ribbon done. Okay. Lovely, lovely. Now, which designer series paper should we use? Stick with the that's nice. I've got both ones actually. I'm going to use that. I just need to trim that down. So that is 12.5 centimeters or 5 inches, but I don't want the whole thing covered. Get rid of my eggs. So what did I say? 12 centimeters. It's actually 12.5. So if I did 11.5, I'll cut 12, and then we'll see. I might need to trim a bit off. And how wide is it going to be? Is that going to go right the way around? Okay. This is where a tape measure comes in handy. Okay, so the 0 is there. I'm going around the join. That is also 12.5. Oh. Right, let's do 12.5 by 12.5 and then trim it. Yeah, I think that was 12.5. Let's try 12. Yeah, that's about right. You don't want too much of the foil showing. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap it round. So I'm not actually going to score this, I'm just going to fold it. And then overlap it so that I have something to glue it onto. So that's that one there. Let's trim that. And then I'll put some glue on. Could do red, but I think I'll stick with the. So what I'm going to do is get the trim out of the way. I'm going to put some glue, well, Stampin' Seal Plus, all the way along one end. And I'm going to start at the join because there's a little bump. Okay. And then I'm just going to pop a little bit of seal each time and roll it around. Don't run out on me. Oh, got the ribbon in the way. Okay. Not quite straight. Let's see if I can. No, that's okay. So I'm going to put some on the end and then try and pull it tight. No, that's not working. I've to take it off. Somewhere I've gone a bit skew-iffy. Now, a great way when you've got used glue is to just put your heat gun on. There you go, it's already popping off. I can see what happened. There's I didn't pull it tightly enough there. Right, let's get this. Bit off. Round to where I didn't pull it tightly enough. Nearly there. That's it. Okay, I think it might be easier actually to use wet glue on the actual cracker. Come on, ribbon, get out of the way. There we go. I'm pulling it a bit tighter. That's it. That's better. So that's what I didn't do. I wasn't pulling it tightly, and then it was getting like an air gap. Okay. Hey, lovely. I like that. And then you can just decorate it. So I think I've got the pine cones, so stamp some pine cones and pop a tag on. Now I did have, yeah, I've got one here. Let me, if I take that off here. It's a project I did a while ago. You saw the little bag that matched the birthday card. Let's see if I can get that off. I'm just going to cut it. Go. And then get my gold ribbon again. And pop that through the little hole. Actually, I think I might make that a bit of a bigger hole. This ribbon is a bit thicker than the twine. I absolutely adore these mittens. There you go. And then that's your gift tag. So you can either tie that onto the ribbon or just glue it on there. I'm just going to pop it on with some glue dots. Well, I would if I knew where my glue dots were. Oh, in the wrong pouch. There we go. So first I'm going to put it on one bit so that I can stick it to the other bit of ribbon to keep them together. And then another glue dot. And then you can pop it on there like that. Okay, so there you've got your two crackers. So that was, let me just get these out of the way. This is your box and your regular sized crackers, and you get 5 in a box. Now that one would just about fit actually. I think I probably only get 2 in there. And then that one is 1.5. Well, I cut 3 bits and then cut 1 in half and join them together in the middle. And that is really, I'm really pleased with that. That's cool. So I hope you liked today's project. Don't forget, if you spend £35 in my store, there's so many bargains. Oops, there's so many bargains at the moment with Last Chance and clearance rack. It's crazy. There's some of the prices are just ridiculous for dies and designer series paper. I saw somebody say there was an embossing folder, like a 6-inch embossing folder on there for £4. It's just ridiculous prices. So if you spend £35, use the host code here. Let me pop it up again for a minute. And then I will send, if you use them by midnight on Tuesday the 13th, I will send you everything you need to make 5 regular sized and the box and 1 large. So thanks very much for joining me. I hope you have a lovely weekend. England are playing in the quarterfinals of the World Cup tomorrow, so I'm rooting for them. And thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. Next week, I'm going to be focusing on New Year's cards. So I've got, it's a set that's in the new catalogue coming in January, which is already on sale, the Warm Welcome. So I'm going to make some cards with that for New Year's, and then the following week will be just before Christmas, and then it'll be calendars. Thanks very much for watching. Have a lovely weekend.